Hello, Jax here. Going live because this thread is getting long right now. About what Amy and Laura Keck posted about me today. And I see that Keck is now sniffing around because she wants to expose me. And hi, Amy and Carla and everybody else who claims to hate me, yet you're here watching me. So you know what they say about that. If you hate me and still watch, you're a fan. So go ahead, shoot anybody on here that have any questions for any of the allegations or anything that Amy or Laura are alleging right now. Go for it. I will answer everything right here in this thread. Not talking about the case here, so don't ask me what's going on in the case right now and what's new and any of that. This is strictly to go, what have you heard? Right now, Jeff, go fuck yourself. Jeff, you don't know that's my boyfriend who just posted what's the square root of 81, and he knows I don't do numbers. So go fuck yourself, Jeff. Anyway, oh boy, getting sent other stuff. Leanne saying, yeah, they aren't worth my time and effort. For the amount of shit that you see that I do bitch about on in here that gets said about me, there's so much more that there's not. I usually just, should I hold this so you guys could hear this? And Jeff, if you're still on, everybody says this sounds way better when I do this. So you really need to make this thing to put it by my face. I ignore most of the bullshit because I don't care. And if you know me, you could tell. So like Jeff can tell right now, too close. Okay, back off. This close. See, I need that the windscreen thing that Ryan said I needed too, Jeff. So order that for me. Anyway, I'm not even upset, so I know people think that I'm like ranting and raving and so angry right now, and I'm not, because a thing that I say is I have to care about you to care about your opinion of me. So I really don't care what they're saying. I shared the screenshot initially just so for Laura Keck, people here have sometimes tried to share her videos and I won't share them. Or if one of the other moderators didn't realize it was a Laura thing and I see it, I'll delete it after it's been posted, because I will only support people who I know are doing these things for the right reasons. Laura is not doing it for the right reasons. She's doing it for attention, and she's making money off of her YouTube. Now, is she making a ton of money? No, because she's not really popular. She'll think she is, but she's not. So I just was showing that so in the future now, if people would try and share one of her videos, because I know people do watch that stuff, you'll know why I don't approve it here. I don't support what she's doing, and especially a YouTube thing. I'm not going to let her make money off of the shit that she says. All right, let me scroll down to what you guys are saying. People saying hi and likes the microphone. Charlene, I posted some screenshots today of people that were talking about me, and it's taken on a life of its own. So I decided I would just go live, and it would be an easier way if anybody had any questions that they wanted to ask, instead of me having to constantly go back to that thread to see if anybody else has asked something. So Amy and I parted ways a couple months ago. I can't remember how long it was. It was personal. It was private messages back and forth. She got uglier and uglier. It's not the first time it's happened. She then got other people involved for them then to message me and say nasty things to me. And I had just had it. I'm done. You know, I did a lot for that girl, and she has regularly talked behind my back to people like Richard Donovan, Gilter. Cindy Knight, Gilter. She keeps up friendships with those people like Carla, friends with Gilters, Amy's friends with Gilters. So I've been sent screenshots many times of Amy talking shit about me to others. And I kept just letting it go. But it did change my friendship with Amy, because once I see you're talking about me to other people, you're obviously not a friend. And when I had called her out on things, she'll apologize for it. But she's only apologizing because she was caught. She's not sorry for the shit she said about me. And when it came to Steven Avery Project, she never wanted any part of it and would throw a fit constantly about things because she doesn't care about Steven. And yes, she has said before she thinks he's guilty. I see she's posting now calling me a liar that she never said that. Yes, she has said that. She hates him, and that's fine. She can hate Steven. But then when we at Steven Avery Project are doing things on Steven's behalf, she's fighting with us over it because she doesn't want it done because she doesn't care about him. So it's been a conflict the whole time. Then she also doesn't do anything. The moderators here have been mods for forever, and they do a damn good job. You'll see every other group out there, they don't have near the amount of people we have, and they'll have like triple the moderators to handle their stuff. When we have typically been 3 people. All right. So it's mostly me, Patty, and Carrie. And it's mostly, honestly, Patty and Carrie that do the moderating. They're going through and reading everything. I slack off on that. I come on here now too, and I just do these lives, and they're the ones doing the actual hard work. After Making a Murderer 2 came out, we were swamped with new people wanting to get in. You know, where we have things set up that you have to, get approved to get in. And then we also have it set up that you have to approve the post because we want to, block the guilters or the trolls or whatever. And so the 3 of us were doing all that, and Amy doesn't do it at all. And so then the other moderators were saying we could use some help. And then that's when we brought on Christy to help, because it was really hectic then. Now, don't get me wrong, doing a Facebook page, I know there's people like Carla who try to make it out like it is just so exhausting that she needs a trip to a spa and Red Lobster. You don't, because we're not doing it for money. We're doing it because we believe in this case, in drawing attention to it. So we'd be online looking into this case, whether or not we were running a Facebook group or not. We were doing this before we had a Facebook group. So this is, do you want to call it a hobby? I don't know. But once you become a moderator, there is stuff put on you that, people want their posts posted, or then people are reporting posts, or people are fighting when we get the people that are childish. She called me a meanie head, and so on. So, there is stuff you need to do. And Amy didn't do any of that. Amy would come on occasionally and then just want to fight with people, just want to bitch at people. So okay, Amy says politics have driven me insane, is what she says. Well, she's meaning because her politics and my politics are separate. And we got into an argument on our stances on things. Now, the whole time I've known her that we're not on the same page on things. But I once again just let it go because she's entitled to her opinion. But then she kept trying to pick fights with me on it. And I would try and just ignore the things she would say. But then when she would say something that is extremely racist or homophobic, I couldn't just let it go, especially when she was saying homophobic things. And at that time, I was working for the Human Rights Campaign that is all about the LGBTQ community and their rights. And so I can't just look the other way. Which reminds me, somebody keeps making gay remarks in here, and I haven't called it out yet, but I will. Please stop using gay slurs. That bothers me. Anyway, so Amy and I disagreed politically in a private message, like I said. And then she had other people come and then try and threaten me and, just be all trash, in threats and whatnot. And I'm like, I'm done with it. I'm over it. And so we parted ways. Amy has no say in what happens with Steven Avery Project because I am the owner of Steven Avery Project. And yes, the thing that Laura Keck is looking around for right now, because obviously Amy has told her, is that when Curtis, who started Steven Avery Project, wanted to move on because he was so attacked, like I get, but he has a wife that they affected his marriage. They catfished him and affected his marriage, that his wife left him at one point. They were separated. And he's then, just for the good of his family, he needs to just walk away from all of this entirely. Patty and Carrie were moderators for him. I had a relationship with Patty and Carrie at that time because me being somebody who ran Free Brendan and I was involved in everything. So they had suggested that I be the one to take it over. And Curtis then asked for money because, all right, Steven Avery Project, I'm offered money all the time to sell the Steven Avery Project Facebook to them for lots and lots of money. I don't think that's real. I always think it's a scam. And it's not about money for me. I've said it over and over. If I wanted to be making money, I could. I could put shirts up on Steven Avery Project and sell those, and they would sell, and I would make a shit ton of money, but I don't. So Curtis asked for money. And so we went back and forth on the amount. I don't even remember what it was agreed upon to be paid. It was like $300 or $400. Maybe one of the mods here will remember. If Jeff's still on, he'll remember because he actually paid Curtis. Patty and another one of the moderators here contributed to that cost, as did Jeff. Amy never paid anything. always said, oh, I'll pay you my share at some point, to be the equal person. And she never paid. I have been attacked ever since I took over Stephen Avery Project for people saying, oh my God, she paid for it. I never understand why it matters if I paid for it or not. Curtis asked me not to tell anyone that I paid him for it. He didn't, because you're always accused of trying to steal money from the case, just like I am all the time. And so he didn't want one more thing being thrown at him like he was stealing money. So it was around Christmas time, and he's got the one child, and a child was on the way. And he had people blowing smoke up his ass too, that he could have sold Stephen Avery Project for thousands and thousands of dollars. And so, boy, I'm being sent a bunch of more screenshots of shit, I think Amy is saying currently. So I have never publicly said that I paid for Stephen Avery Project because Curtis asked me not to. And I honored that. But yes, I paid $300 or $400. That was that Patty and another moderator contributed to. Here, hold on. Before I go to your stuff, I'm going to go to the screenshots right now because I want to see for sure what she's saying. Oh, it's somebody that I just booted out of here because I'm pretty sure she's the one that was giving Amy the screenshots, or maybe I'm wrong. There's another person who I think. Oh. That's funny. Amy trying to claim I rode her coattails. That's funny. All right. So I'm going to scroll through what you're saying. No, Laura, we're talking about Laura Keck. Yeah, Jeff really couldn't stand Amy the whole time because when she would come and stay with us, they would just destroy our house. And so he was miserable the whole time they were here. Jeff, she's your friend as long as you are constantly lending her money. Meanwhile, she won't defend you and talks behind your back. You have defended her and taken a fair amount of backlash for it. Good riddance. Oh, example for that. When Amy was buddies with Barb, and we all got these matching Brendan tattoos, Amy and Barb sold the picture of Amy and Barb's tattoos to TMZ. And so Amy was the one that facilitated it on Barb's behalf with TMZ. And then they were to split that money. And Amy then never gave Barb her share, which is something that Scott got all pissed off about at one point with Amy. So, but anyway, then when Amy was exiled from Barb, another picture got sold to TMZ of Brendan's bedroom. Now that one, I don't know who sold it to TMZ other than, obviously it's Barb. Amy was not involved in that one. Richard Donovan posted on Laura Keck's group, I believe it was, that Amy sold that picture to TMZ and what a piece of shit and blah, blah, blah. And I defended Amy. And Richard Donovan has hated me ever since because when we were arguing back and forth, I referred to him as a pussy. And that hit a sore spot with him. And he was after me from then on because I referred to him as a pussy. So I argued with Donovan on Amy's behalf because Amy didn't sell that second picture. She sold the first one. Meanwhile, Amy remained friends with him and then would talk shit about me to Richard Donovan, that then Richard Donovan will pull out the screenshots of, look, Jax's good buddy Amy, look what she says about her. And when that all happened, I just let it go. I didn't make a big deal about it. It was just another notch in Amy wasn't truly my friend. Let me scroll. Alex says, this is so damn sad. I've always admired people who are trying to make a difference, and Jax, you are one of those people. The only thing logical would be if you would all join. We are all here for the same reason. Why the hell call someone names or accuse them of something? That is just sad. People who talk bad about others are always jealous. Well, I talk bad about others. Or are doing something wrong and want to justify those things by making others look bad. Damn, sorry about the spelling. Hope you know what I mean. We're not grammar. I'm not a grammar Nazi. Jeff says, I was insane before politics. Irrelevant. Again, for those that don't know, Jeff is my boyfriend. So, Julie says, it hurts, but one can only tolerate so much, and then you just got to let them go. Politics are making everyone insane, LOL. Julie's bringing up politics. I do not want politics brought up here. Yes, I am very involved politically, and I have my opinions on everything, but it has no place here in Steven Avery Project. So I don't want to get into that. Y'all can, believe, what you want on those things. Please don't bring it into here. I have a separate activist group that's all about how I feel about government and such. I don't want that here. Lisa says, didn't she stick up for you when Scott and Barb wanted you off their page at the end and left the group because they wouldn't accept you? You guys seem so close. How sad. No. Lisa, what actually happened there is Amy wanted Brendan all to herself. This is back when Amy used to visit Brendan. And there was another supporter, Dawn, who currently still visits Brendan and is an admin on Brendan's pages or whatever. And so Amy was going to visit Brendan on a weekend. So Amy would come to my house because it was easier for her to come and stay with me and drive to the prison from here. And so remember, we were just discussing in live yesterday about prisoners are only allowed X amount of visits per week. So Dawn, who lives in another state, was flying in to go visit Brendan. And so Amy said to her fellow admin at when she was running the Brendan group, Tracy Keogh, she said to Tracy, she better not fuck up my visit with Brendan or I'll cut her. So Dawn then brought that, or Tracy wanting to stage a coup because Tracy didn't like being number 2 and Amy being number 1, and Tracy wanting Brendan all to herself. Tracy then shared the screenshot of that with Dawn. Dawn then went to Barb and Scott and said, Amy's threatening to kill me. So then Barb and Scott questioned Amy and said, are you threatening to kill supporters? We can't have that. You can't do that. So Amy threw a fit that how dare they accuse her of that. And I was on Amy's side on that. What Amy said is wrong, but that's the way she talks. I mean, it's what she's posting now over in Laura's group, saying things like, I better keep my fat mouth shut and stuff like that. That's what she does. She's a bully. She likes to talk like that and think she's all tough. But I defended her on that because it was like she was angry. She said it. It didn't mean that she was really going to cut Dawn. And so Amy then left the group. And I was still a moderator of the group at the time. Amy had left. I was trying to bring the sides together. So like Dawn was staying with Barb. So I was on speakerphone with Dawn, Barb, and of course, Scott's always in the background. And I was trying to defend Amy to them. They would have none of it. I still remained a moderator for just a couple days, like 2 days after that. And then all of a sudden, Scott removed me. And Scott removed me, and he made a post saying I was a thief, since that's the go-to that everybody always wants to do when they want to say something about me. Then I had contacted, what are you guys talking about? You know, and then Scott apologized. I should find that text message. He apologized and said he'll put me back in the group. But at that point, I'm like, I'm just moving on. So, but there has always been on Barb's part a jealousy over Amy. Barb always wanted Amy all to herself. And so she would get upset if Amy ever came and spent any time with me. Even though, like, Amy would come here and I would invite Barb and Scott to come as well. You know, come stay at my house and hang out and we'll go do this and that and the other. So, so that's where things started to go, went bad between me, Barb, and Scott. So it wasn't Amy sticking up for me. It was me sticking up for Amy because she was threatening to kill Dawn. So that's what happened. Now, Barb has tried to get Amy back several times over this and telling her all she has to do is cut me off. And Amy, to her credit, wouldn't, said no, and remained my so-called friend. But meanwhile, she was still trashing me to guilters behind my back. So let me scroll. All right, Jeff says, Amy said she wanted to be a partner and was responsible for half the money. That was never reimbursed, nor was any of the other money that Jax lent her. Joyce, was SAP up before MAM1? No, it was not. You can actually go on Stephen Avery Project. I think you can go in the about, and it tells you when it was founded. I didn't start it, so Curtis did, but it was started in the same month that Making a Murderer came out. You know, Making a Murderer came out like December 14th. Okay, so Making a Murderer came out at like December 14th, 2015. And when you go on Stephen Avery Project and go into the about, it is listed as founded on December 25, 2015. So, but Curtis is somebody who lives in Wisconsin and knew of the case. So as soon as Making a Murderer came out, it just got him all back in the case, and he started this group. Let's see. Lily, if that's how you say your name, which pages are fake and which are real ones? Well, they're all real. You know, there's a million different pages and groups that discuss the case. And there's good and bad in all of them, you know, because that's life. There's good and bad in everything. You know, so I personally am not in any other group or pages because I got enough with Stephen Avery Project. So I don't have any need to go to the other ones, but I do go to Reddit. I do go to the TikTok Manitowoc Reddit because those people, a lot of those people are fabulous in digging stuff up. So, but I personally don't care to go to any pages that will discuss that the possibility of Stephen or Brendan being guilty. I get when people want to see both sides. I don't fault anybody for being in any of those guilter groups or the ones that say guilty or innocent. I get it, but I just have no need to be there. I'm one of those that You can't change people's minds. Some people, they believe what they believe, and I'm not going to waste my breath. So I'm not going to argue with Richard Donovan on whatever things he's going to say proves they're guilty, because he's just wrong. And there's no, but he's going to twist it to be whatever way he wants it to be. So I just see no point. But I did my share of that. When I first got involved in Making a Murderer, I was out there swinging at people on things. So everybody's got to, learn for themselves. So I don't tell anybody not to go to any good to any groups, or I'm not somebody who's gonna block you or ban you if I see that you're in a guilty group. I'm gonna block you or ban you if I see that you're posting they're guilty, or if you're posting shit from here. If we find out you're the one that's sending somebody a screenshot, we're gonna block you. So Lily, I'm not going to say don't go to this page, don't go to that page. Check them all out for yourself and make your own decision on which group or page is the right one for you. Miranda, I have no idea what's happening right now. I'm just going over gossip that people are currently posting about me in another group right now. And I'm giving people now the opportunity that if you're seeing any of that stuff or whatever and you want to question me on it, go for it. Lily, I'm your main squeeze. Nice. And have a good day at work, Miley. Nicole, is this all new drama, and where did it come from? I'm so confused. This is because I posted screenshots of stuff that people were saying about me today. So, but it's old. These are all the same old tired fights. But this is new right now. Tara says, money and Facebook fame makes people do crazy shit. This is about the innocence of Steve and Brendan. When people do this shit, it just makes them look bad. Stephen and Brendan are the ones who suffer from all this infighting, especially family members starting the infighting. Jax, you are extremely forthcoming and put it out there. Keep doing what you do. Thank you, Tara. BJ. Ooh. That's a great email. I'll have to look at that in a minute. Every time I'm on here, you guys are talking about money because I'm always being accused of being a thief. Kelly says, is there really monetary value in being a moderator in these groups? That's crazy. Why? Well, there's no monetary value in being a moderator, but there's monetary value in your page if you have a lot of members. So I'll have people who will contact me that want to just do like some kind of ads or whatever, or they want to buy the page because then they just want that name to be able to use to try and sell whatever. I don't understand how it all works. I've never looked into it because, again, it's not about money for me. And, sometimes when we get those messages at Stephen Avery Project of people inquiring about wanting to buy it, we'll play with them just to, see what comes of it. Because just like Curtis, when Curtis left this, and yes, I had to pay him $300, $400, whatever it was. He wanted to make sure it was left with somebody who was going to continue it with how he had started it. Curtis wanted no drama. Curtis wanted it to be about the case. Curtis wanted it to be supportive of Stephen's innocence. That's all he wanted. So if you ever go to the Stephen Avery Project public page, that's what you'll see. It's just about case. Thank you, Renee. My friend Renee must be watching right now, and she says, it looks like I lost weight. Woohoo. No, I think it's just because my camera is up here right now, so it's coming down at me instead of coming up for me looking at my chins, but I did start working out this week. Yay me. So I've tried to keep Steven Avery Project as Curtis intended it, where it's just about the case. You don't see me posting in there that this person's calling me a thief or the family is stealing money. None of that stuff gets posted there. We keep it on the up and up. You know, that's why when we do interviews, you know, that we've started doing, where we did the one with the Wrecking Crew, John Farrick, author. We've got the one this Sunday with James Didcock, writer. We have another one coming up with somebody who is affiliated with Stephen's case. But we're not releasing that until right now. I'm still working out on what day that's going to happen. We do that on Steven Avery Project because those people, it's not about gossip and drama. It's case. And no matter what any other supporters or family members or what want to say about me, Steven Avery Project will continue. I believe in Stephen's innocence. Patty and Carrie and Christy believe in Stephen's innocence. So Steven Avery Project will still continue to run, as always, supporting Stephen, believing he is innocent, as well as Brendan. But over here in Gossip Project is where I'm going to call out the bullshit. So, and I leave myself open for you. Anything that's said about me, shoot. Ask me. I will tell you. So I really don't like saying that I paid for Steven Avery Project, not because I'm ashamed or I think what I did was wrong. It's because Curtis asked me not to tell anyone because he doesn't want that used against him. Hopefully, since it's been 2 years now, since Curtis has been gone, there's really no fallout for him at this point by me saying that. So if people want to hate me because I paid Curtis $300, I really don't care. But it's again showing where people constantly refer to me as a thief, but doesn't thief mean money's coming in, not money is constantly going out? You know, that I'm paying out this money to support this case when all that happens is I get attacked for it. All right, I'm again scrolling down in comments. Oh yeah, BJ, Scott Walker's last day today. Whoop whoop. Kimberly says, yet again, another example of money being the root of all evil. Keep up the great work you are doing, Jax. Let me correct you, Kimberly. That's not what it is. It's the love of money is the root of all evil. You know, it's just a little twist on it, but oh, so true. Love of money, root of all evil. Saban, hey. BJ keeps asking me about the case, even though, BJ, I'm sorry, I said this specific live, I was just coming on to address this stuff. So, but you saying, what do you think Zellner found out? I do not ever speculate on what she found. I just sit here going, ooh, I can't wait to find out what it is. And, right, and filing a new motion. We talked about that yesterday. And hello, Siobhan and Marguerite. And I know, BJ, forget about them. They are a waste of time. But this is something new that has developed with Amy, who used to be a friend of mine, and now Laura Keck wanting to do a video to expose me that I paid for Steven Avery Project because Amy told her that. So I'm just telling you what the actual facts are before they twist them into something they were not. And I have plenty of witnesses, believe them or not, because Jeff was a part of all that. And then so were Carrie and Patty. So whatever. Sarah, Jax, you are so awesome. We love you. Forget them haters. They are just jealous that you are going places and doing great things. Well, and Sarah, thank you for that. I mean, but where am I really going? So that's the thing too that people will use against me, that I'm using this for fame or whatever. Where am I going? I'm on Facebook. It's really nothing. Okay. So, and I'm, please don't think I'm like slamming you all, but I don't have a big head about any of this. Like I'm a somebody. I am just a supporter like everybody else that, has um, the time to put into this case. Um, that, there's a lot of you here, even the people that have posted, like Miley, who said, I'm here, but I got to go to work. You have jobs. I don't. Um, I'm between jobs at the moment. My last job, I work in politics. So I worked for Human Rights Campaign, supporting their endorsed candidates in the last election. Now we're coming up on another election. So I'll see if I get on with another campaign or organization for that one. So I don't have a 9-to-5 job. So I have the time to do this. But I'm a nobody, and I don't try to, I'm not trying to say I'm a somebody in all of this, I was just affected by this case. Okay, people talking about the case. Michelle saying, hey, Jax just got on. What's going on? I'm just addressing some new attacks on me. Just, yeah, I'm not going to be reading out loud all your stuff because it's a lot of, Jeff says it was more than 300. It's not relevant, but in the interest of accuracy. Okay. I don't remember the exact amount because it's not bullshit when I say numbers are really bad for me. It's, how like people can be dyslexic and whatever. I like truly have a number thing. So it's not me trying to lie about the number or whatever. My brain, I'm really, really bad with numbers. I'll forget my own phone number. Yeah. So I don't recall the exact amount. So, but it wasn't a lot. Okay, well, even $300 is a lot to some people. And I'm sure a lot of people would go, holy shit, you paid $300 if that was the amount for a Facebook page? Why? So, Taleha, is that how I say your name? Jax, if you don't mind, can I please suggest something? People are always welcome to suggest things. And just always know that a suggestion is just that. I take it or leave it. Alex says, yeah, like the shirts you gave to Barb and Scott for free and then they trash you. Yeah. And Scott, before things went bad, had asked me he wanted a special shirt for Barb for her birthday, a special Brendan shirt. I don't even recall what it said. Maybe Jeff will because Jeff made it. So Jeff wanted me to make Scott wanted me to make a special shirt for him to give to Barb for her birthday. Jeff made it. And then Scott said those horrible things about me, and I still sent him the shirt to give to Barb. He never paid for it, and I still sent it. So, whatever. Jeff, don't get me started. So much shit they got and have the audacity to suggest we stole anything. Laughable. Yeah, Jeff lost his shit one time because Carla was doing a live, and on that live they said that the signs that Jeff had made for the salvage yard, that somebody stole them, and they accused Jeff and I of stealing them. And so he actually commented on that, because People don't understand the time and money that Jeff has done in printing all this shit and keeping up with it, because like when we did the Brendan shirts, he would post every month because he would transfer money once a month from his PayPal to Barb's PayPal for the one shirt, and then he would post the statement of this is what went to Barb. And when he makes these shirts, most of the time sorry for the dogs, he's getting nothing out of it. He's not making a profit off of it. And there's time involved to make these. He owns a print shop. He's self-employed, no employees. So when he makes stuff, he's doing it. Or I've come in and helped when it's stuff that, I'm putting on him. And so I had him make these shirts that to this day, there are still Brendan shirts sitting in his shop that he paid for already, that he has sitting there. Now they weren't printed on yet, because you get the cost down by ordering shirts in bulk. So we knew we were doing orange shirts and green shirts. So he ordered a whole bunch of them to get that cost low. So Barb would make more money off of it. And then the shirt sales ended because of all this shit. And now he's stuck with all these shirts that he's already paid for. So then we have on occasion use these shirts now for something else because they're sitting there. BJ apologizing for talking about the case. Don't worry about it. I understand that people, just come on here. You didn't read at the top where it says that I wasn't discussing the case right now or what I had said earlier. So there's no hard feelings about it whatsoever. All right, scrolling again. What am I being sent a screenshot of now? Oh, so somebody else now calling me a liar and is siding with Amy. Oh, and taking a shot. Okay, yeah. Okay, she's been booted now too. Lovely. That's fine, whatever. Miranda says, why would it matter if you paid for it? That's why I'm confused. I came in late, so excuse my confusion. I'm always confused by that too, Miranda. I don't know why. It's a big deal. Curtis started this page, which that screenshot I was just sent is being shown that I'm lying. I always give Curtis credit for starting this page. I've never once tried claiming that I started this page. Oh my God, that person is just lying. That's funny. And saying I'm lying. I always give credit, Curtis. Curtis started this. I never deny that. Never. I do not try and take the credit for Stephen Avery Project beginning. That's funny. Jeff says Amy is just grabbing at straws, trying to be relevant. Well, yeah. Christy, you're somebody to me. Aw, thanks. Okay, Siobhan says, what's the story with Barb? Is she attacking you also or only Carla? I'm confused about the relationship here. I do not know what the current relationship is with Carla and Barb. I know from when I was friends with Carla and when I was friends with Barb that those two women hate each other. She will they will get back together for the case, for whatever, but they do not like each other. If they're on the outs currently, I don't know. Neither one of them are attacking me currently as far as I know. So I don't know anything Barb and Carla at this moment. Taleha. Well, that's a pretty name. Tracy says, since when is it a bad thing to buy something? Yeah, I don't know. I yeah, well, like I said, it's dumb to pay for a Facebook group. I get it, because again, it's just Facebook. But it's what Curtis wanted because he was believing people when they said that to sell Stephen Avery Project, you could make a ton of money. And it was Christmas time, and he's got a baby and a baby on the way. So he asked for some money, and we gave it to him. Julie says there is a difference between an army for justice and an army for blame. This group is for justice. The blame troops grasp at the short straws and have to hold on to the troop for justice to keep afloat. Sometimes it's best to let that lifeboat sink. Yeah, and this will be, as long as nothing else gets thrown at me, I'm not going to keep discussing this shit to death. Because like I said, it happens daily. I do not post screenshots all the time of every freaking thing that's been said about me, because I get sent a ton of screenshots. Because whatever, I really don't care. But I decided to address this because so now people know why we won't share Laura's videos here. I did not want to open this can of worms up about Amy because I was trying to do we're just going to go our separate ways and leave it at that. I don't want to get into the bullshit. She can try and sling mud at me. I've got mud I could sling back if I wanted to. Where she has nothing. There's nothing on me. There's nothing. But so I brought it up today. We'll discuss it today, and it won't be discussed again because I know Amy is still going right now. I'm not posting all the other screenshots of what Amy is saying. I'm not posting screenshots of what others are saying. We're going to move on. So this is like a one and done. I'm putting it out here so you guys, see it or whatever. It's here, and then that's that. BJ says, if you need help with artwork for the group or whatnot, let me know. I'll go in and make sure this is the best looking group on the book. I'll do free, no charges. I just want to help. Well, that's awesome, BJ. Carrie. Yes. Nicola, before things went bad between you, Barb, and Scott, did you suspect that Scott and Bobby could have been involved, or was you blinded by them? I'll post for you guys to show you how blinded I was. I actually wrote an article defending Scott. And it was on Free Brendan, but since all of this it's been pulled down, but I still have it saved on my laptop. So I will show you what I wrote about Scott. And it's kind of embarrassing now yeah, I was snowed. I was defending Scott. I did buy his tears. He never spoke to me the way, like, he would be mean to Amy, or at least that's what Amy would say. Maybe that's not even true at this point. I don't know. Maybe Amy lied to me. I don't know. But he never talked to me that way. So I never had a personal issue with Scott. And at that time, I was on the It's Ryan Hilgas. So I think I was still, it was a toss up between Ryan Hilgas and George Zipperer. So, and I was never thinking it was Bobby. Now, when I had watched Making a Murderer before I got into all of this, yeah, I was set off by all of that and suspected Bobby. I didn't suspect Scott from that. Only Bobby, that seemed kind of weird. But Making a Murderer 1 really made me think something of Ryan Hilgas. So I was blinded for a time, and I did truly care about Barb, and I still do care about Barb. I don't know. I really think in Barb's case that she didn't know Bobby and Scott did this. And I believe to this day she doesn't know Bobby and Scott did this. I believe she's just trying to deny it, that she won't look at those facts because she just doesn't want to believe it. Just like she doesn't want to believe Brendan did it, she doesn't want to believe Bobby did it. And that's her being a mom. She loves her boys. She does. But she's a shitty mother. But you got to remember too, Barb also, not all, many of them have that low IQ. So I really felt for Barb. And so I think that also colored my opinion for Scott because I felt so much for Barb. All right, I'm scrolling through your comments. Gwen, you do loads. I couldn't talk live to people like you do, and you don't see Barb, Carla, Chuck, etc. going live to keep everyone updated. Keep up the good work. Well, Barb's uncomfortable with that stuff, and so is Chuck. Carla goes live on occasion, but it's hard to go live when they won't allow people to actually talk about the case because the case is pointing at Bobby. And so they're doing defend the family at all costs thing right now. So, which I guess if that's all it was in family defending family, I would respect it, even though you should be looking at the facts and seeing that your family is guilty. But Carla will attack supporters. Well, she doesn't, remember, because Carla is not low IQ. And hi, Carla, I know you're watching. And I say all the time, Carla is not dumb. Smart girl. She is she plays this really well. She is really good at manipulating people. That she doesn't personally do these things. She has other people do them. And then she just does I can't control people and people can have their own minds and blah, blah, blah. So she'll make supporters like myself an enemy, yet she'll put her head on Richard Donovan's shoulder and it's okay to be buddy with a guilter. But a supporter who, because I won't play your game and you're not going to just tell me what to do, well, then that makes me the enemy. So it means you're not about supporting your family and you're just about yourself. Sarah says, how much for those shirts? Are you talking about the ones that we have left over? They don't have anything on them. They don't have the Brendan thing on. They're just green and orange T-shirts that Jeff periodically will print other stuff on then since they're there. Kelly says, sorry, I'm behind on this, but what was the original falling out between you, Barb, and Scott? That is, so when this is over, play it from the start, because I'm not going to add, I've already been on for an hour and I'm not going to go over it again, but I did discuss that already. Haley says, don't take this shit personally. I don't, I said earlier, if you know me, well, you don't even have to know me. I'm sure you all watching could tell I'm not upset. You can tell when I'm upset. I'm not upset in the slightest. I don't care about this. I only want to make sure that if you all have a question about anything that you're now seeing since they're posting stuff, ask me and I'll answer it. And that's that. Okay, what's this screenshot I was just sent? Oh, so it's so this is a screenshot of a person that one of the moderators just kicked out of gossip because they were posting that I'm a liar. And Amy says she really doesn't want me to show the screenshots of all the buying SAP. I have them and ready. She's a liar. Everyone can see her one-sided bullshit. It's a lie. Let me defend myself, Jax. Laugh my ass off. She won't. Defend what? Because again, I've said I paid for it. Didn't tell before because Curtis asked not to. Oh, there's Jeff posting. Oh, posting one of the times he sent money to Barb. Olivia, hi Jax. I'm not up to speed with the fallout, but you're a person and you are a genuine good person. Well, thank you, Olivia. Carissa, I can't wait for the day that Stephen and his nephew is proven not guilty. How is Stephen's mom? Prayer she gets to see the day her son walks free. Stephen's mom's the same as always, getting older. Oh, and now I see Renee joined. So you didn't see when Renee did. Oh, well, you had to have seen when I talked about you because you said I looked like I lost weight. So hello, Renee. And Renee, you and I need to catch up. Tracy, but still your money to spend. You didn't want the page to default or fall into the wrong hands. What is wrong with people? They pay for Carla's Christmas, but again, not my business. Right, Tracy. And I have always here's how I've always looked at things. Carrie and Patty don't agree with me on this. And I've always said, I'm running Stephen Avery Project, and when Stephen was free, I would turn it over to him to do whatever he wanted to with it. If it crashed and burned, it crashed and burned. Now, Patty and Carrie don't agree. And I'm at their way of thinking at this time as well, because Stephen Avery Project was started to support Stephen. And then once he is free, we're going to just then get into other cases there and continue to use it for good and not be about money for the family or whatever. And all, we'll still update on what's going on in Stephen's life if there's anything to update. But oh God, what am I being sent here now? Oh geez. Thank you, Michelle. But was my intention when we took over Stephen Avery Project, to keep it as it always was. And then when Stephen was free, he could have it. And I would just go on my way, but I agree with Carrie and Patty at this time is, because Carrie and Patty have worked way harder than I to get Stephen Avery Project to where it is today. Those two women have busted their ass on, keeping people updated on this case. And so they want to then use it to try and help other cases after Stephen. So that's what will happen to it. So yeah, we don't want it to fall into the wrong hands. Crystal says, who's Amy? Sorry, came late. Amy was somebody who I met due to me making the rally shirts for the first June Manitowoc rally that I organized. And Amy actually threatened me at that time. But so that was my first interaction with Amy was threatening me in a message. But I looked past it. And then from her going to that rally, she got really close with Barb and Scott, who I had already known. Barb and Scott had already visited up there with them and all that. So Barb and Amy bonded because Amy has a son who is very similar to Brendan, similar IQ. They look alike, so that's why for Amy, Brendan is so important to her. And Amy has a genuine love for Brendan, wanting to help and protect Brendan. So then Barb had named Amy admin of the Brendan group. And I, prior to all this, had Free Brendan. Free Brendan how long has Free Brendan existed? Let me see if I can go to that. I've run Free Brendan since it doesn't have it on here when you go to this about on when Free Brendan started. Because it has, I could edit the start date. I don't know. But I want to say Free Brendan started like February or March, after Making a Murderer 1 aired in December. So I had already been running Free Brendan and working, writing articles that were on freebrendan.org, that I was going to see the lawyer speak and writing articles on that, all that. This is well before Amy ever got involved. So then Amy and I became friends, and she wanted to add me as a moderator of Brendan's group, and things just grew from there. So we were friends, and then Amy had a falling out with Scott and Barb, which you can play this from the beginning and hear all of that. So, oops, I got to scroll over here. Yeah, Jeff always thought Scott was guilty because, when I've gone up to Manitowoc, Jeff's been with me. So Jeff, my boyfriend Jeff has met everybody. Sarah says, that's not your fault. Don't be embarrassed by someone else's lies and deceptions. You have a heart and thought you had no other reason to not believe him. Yeah. But when I post this article that I wrote about Scott, I'll do this afterwards. It is embarrassing on how hard I defended that guy. Haley says, I agree with you about Barb. She's blind, but she needs to look at her man. Right. Sherry says, Jax, I love you because you are honest and real. You pull no punches, and you have never come across as anything other than someone committed to the truth. I admire your work as an activist, and I'm in awe of your ability to help with so many causes. You rock, and I am proud to know you, even just on Facebook. Well, thank you very much, Sherry. Jeff says, Carla is a dime store version of Charles Manson. Do my bidding, my minions. And here's the thing with Jeff too, because Carla and her husband Stacy and one of her daughters have been in our home. Jeff and I have been in their home, and Jeff and Carla's husband Stacy really like each other. I really like Stacy too. I don't hold anything against Stacy that Carla does. And I've talked about this before. So the first rally that I organized, and then Carla last minute when she was trying to boss me around, and I told her she wasn't the boss of me, and then she was after me from then on. And so I was going back and forth on if I was going to attend that rally that I organized. I did everything for that. And hold on, I have to let my dogs out or they're driving me crazy. Come on, outside. All right, I'm back. So I kept going back and forth on whether or not I was still going to attend, even though Carla and her minions now were going to mean girl it up. Barb begged me to still come. And because Barb at that time did not like Carla. Now remember, there's no Amy in the picture at this point either. Barb begged me to still come because she said she's just going to be sitting by herself. You know, she wants nothing to do with Carla. So can't Jeff and I just come and just sit with her and Scott? And then something that got added on, see, I only wanted to do a rally, and then they added on this camp out and that auction, which I fought against the auction and lost on that one too. Carla wanted to have the camp out at her house. Shut up, Jeff. Jeff just now messaged me saying less umming. And there's shut up. Drinking game. Everybody drink every time I say I was just going to say it again. Where was I? Trying not to say while I'm figuring out where I was. So Stacy didn't want the camp out there because he doesn't want the responsibility. Stacy's like, somebody could sue, say they got hurt on the property or whatever. And so Carla then asked me to ask Stacy because he was telling her no to have the camp out there, but that he would say yes to me. So then I talked to Stacy about it, and he agreed to it when we said that Jeff would print out waivers for people to sign that they couldn't come on the property unless they signed that waiver, and that Jeff and I would be there to protect the family from the crazies. So then when we weren't going to go, Stacy was messaging both Jeff and I that he still wanted us to come, even though now I have issues with Carla. And he's like, fuck it, come here, we'll hang. And so then I would have Jeff saying too, he's like, I want to go. I think we should still go. That Jeff wanted to go hang with Stacy. Jeff believes in the cause. I was going to go there because the petition that Barb keeps trying to say is hers isn't, that Injustice Anywhere is the one that actually did that petition. And Injustice Anywhere is Free Brendan, which I'm a part of Free Brendan. So I had said that I was still going to go and just trying to get people to sign the juvenile interrogation protection law. But then it also got to a point of Carla was whipping her minions into such nastiness that if I was to show up there, it would, and it's not because I'm intimidated or scared. All right. But it was then going to be them being mean girls and trying to be nasty to me. And it would make the cause look stupid. So I didn't go. And I think Jeff was pissed at me for that too. That he wouldn't say that to me, but I think he was pissed because he wanted to go. And so then he had Stacy messaging him too, being all pissed we weren't there because now, you're having people come and literally stay the night at your house. So there's preparations that need to be done for your house. Who was doing it? Stacy by himself, because Carla's off taking pictures of her in her convertible cruising around town with other fans and going out to eat at a restaurant and pictures of them at a restaurant. And it's Stacy doing all the work for her frickin' party. And he knows if Jeff and I had gone up there, we would have helped him with the setup. But now he was left all alone. So, Julie says, would you need to get KZ's permission to print a hashtag with just KZ, not her name? I don't think so. Jeff says, screenshots of her buying what? You want the PayPal transactions I made to Curtis? I'll post them. Who cares? Oh, and now he's posted them. Okay, so They are nothing to hide. Oh, there you go. Thanks, Jeff. So no, I think what Amy thinks she's going to expose is that I paid for it. Not saying that she did. Because again, people trying to make it out like I'm evil incarnate because I paid Curtis. I don't know. I don't get it. Oh, the question, have I met Steven? No, I've never met him. I've only talked to him on the phone before. Oh boy, Jeff's found a printing person to bond with. Sarah, in response to Julie's question about KZ, with the shirts, can you print that on there or stuff like Team Steven and Brendan or anything with them on there that Jeff can use with those shirts and us supporters can buy them? Well, now that Jeff's on here, go ahead and discuss it with Jeff because he's, you don't ask me. I don't know the answers to that stuff. So, and you see his name now. So even if he's not on here, message him. Crystal saying, oh, you're all going to get smacked. Audrey doesn't hear the anymore. All right, I'm down at the bottom of everybody's stuff. So, and I wasn't even meaning to go live today. But so that's that. I will say what I always say. If you see something, let me know. Then if you have a question, drink. Amy may be posting screenshots now of things that she thinks is going to show I'm a bad person. So if you see any of them and have a question, fire away. I have stuff I could say about Amy, and I'm not going to. I'm not going to go there. I'm just going to defend myself. So, all right, somebody else. And for people who have been messaging me or whatever, I haven't read any of the messages. I've looked at screenshots, but I'll look at those when I'm done here. Jeff saying, I'm out close to $800 for the Steven and Brendan shirts. I have plenty of blank shirts here. I'll print whatever you want on them. Do we need to have a live? Ask printer guy. So I'm ending this here. Sorry for the people who don't want to listen to the drama, but I'll again remind you that this is a gossip page. This is the only place you're going to see me bitch about this stuff. If you don't like this stuff, go follow Steven Avery Project, where we just post the case there. So this is my outlet for when these things happen. Caroline says, as a supporter of justice, I have no reason to take sides. It's extremely easy to judge one's character, and their page astounded me, and I choose to leave Carla and her ways. I then joined this group. I won't lie. I stood back to suss you too, Jax. I remain on this page because of your honest integrity. Well, thank you, Caroline. So, as I keep saying, that's that. You have a question? Ask me. Don't forget about our live that will not be here in Gossip. It will be on Steven Avery Project, the public page with James Didcock. That is on Sunday at noon my time. So it is currently 11:38 a.m. So roughly 20 minutes from now. Look, I did that math. I did those numbers. So roughly 20 minutes from now on Sunday, we'll be going live with James Didcock. He's going to talk about Melissa Kalyazinski's case. He'll talk a little bit about Steven's case. Don't know how many people's questions we'll actually get to. Let the man speak and don't be ignorant or rude to him. He's a guest. So, Alan is my final thing. Where again, I'll say all the bickering and drama. Yeah, because this is the gossip group where it gets posted. God, I hate that I do that. Steven Avery Project, we don't. this page, yes, while we do post about Stephen and Brendan here, it is also about other stuff that surrounds the case, which, not trying to have a big head, but my name is involved in Stephen Avery world. So I'm going to defend that stuff. So, all right, I'm outie. Talk to you guys on Sunday. Well, I'll still be around posting here and there, but next live Sunday at noon. See ya.